Oh, okay. So we've gone live here. So today's not today. This is the second book that I'm reading today. I'm reading a lot today. Reading I read James and the Giant Peach. You can find that. Um, I've read The Very Hungry Caterpillar. I'm reading my own book downstairs. It's called The Emperor's Children. It's a grown-up book, but I've been reading that a lot. So I thought I would take a break and I would read Not So Rotten Ralph. You guys might know a little bit about Rotten Ralph. He's that cat. He's just so mischievous. This is written. See, the book that I read earlier about Eric Carle. When it was just the one name, he did the illustrations and the writing. This is written by Jack Gantos and illustrated by Nicole Rubel. So they worked together. One did the writing and one did the pictures. By the way, this is a leveled book, level J. For those of you who are interested, here's the front page. Not So Rotten Ralph. Now, I don't know if you remember who the characters are, but Ralph is the cat of Sarah. And one morning, when Sarah came down for breakfast, Rotten Ralph was making blueberry pancakes. Please don't make a mess, Sarah said. But Ralph didn't listen. He sprayed whipped cream all over the kitchen. Just go out and play, groaned Sarah. He looks like he's having fun, but it does get a little messy. Oh, by the way, look, there are his initials in whipped cream. Rotten Ralph. Rotten Ralph hid himself inside the mailbox and surprised the mailman. The mail flew all over. Stop that, Ralph, said Sarah. When are you going to start to behave? Look at these pictures. This cat just, you know what? He just can't be a cool cat. He's got to be a troublemaker. Poor mailman didn't know what was coming. When Sarah picked up the mail, she saw an ad for Mr. Fred Feline's finishing school. Feline is another word for a cat. Ralph, this is just what you need. Finishing school. It'll help you. It'll help you become a good cat. Oh, but I was just seeing the back cover too. I will be a good cat. I will be a good cat. But while she's reading the ad, look what Ralph is doing underneath. He is one troublemaker. When they arrived at school, Sarah said, Goodbye, Ralph. I want you to do exactly as they say, she said. Rotten Ralph wanted to go home, but Mr. Fred dragged him inside. Good poor old Mr. Fred. He's been beaten up. Mr. Fred meant business. These are the golden rules and regulations. Excuse me. That's from the stuff coming down from the trees. I don't know if anybody else feels that. I get a little pollen in there. These are the golden rules and regulations, he instructed. Follow them and you'll learn how to be good. Not me, thought Ralph. My rule is to be rotten. He made paper airplanes out of the golden rules. Let's see what the golden rules were. No meowing, no fun, no begging, no backtalk, no hissing, no burping, no scratching, no sneakiness, no fighting. Well, that's a lot of no. That's a lot of like what you can't do. No wonder Ralph doesn't want to follow those rules. Next, they entered the self-control room. Don't touch anything, bellowed Mr. Fred. Keep your paws to yourself. Rotten Ralph had no self-control whatsoever. He wanted to touch everything. Get a grip on yourself, said Mr. Fred. I want your owner to be proud of you. Look at that. Ralph is so funny. You know what they should have said to Ralph? They should have told him to touch everything. Then maybe he wouldn't touch anything. Every good cat should have perfect table manners, said Mr. Fred. Rotten Ralph ate everyone's spaghetti and chewed them with his mouth open. Then he burped loudly. No burping, growled Mr. Fred, and he ordered Ralph to say please and thank you 100 times. Afterward, they went to the fluff and buff room for a bath. All of Ralph's fleas jumped on Mr. Fred. From now on, your fur will be brushed and your teeth and nails would shine. This feels horrible, cried Ralph. Although I bet he likes getting his fleas off. Fleas are little tiny, tiny bugs that bite you. Dogs and cats get them a lot. And then sometimes they jump off of them and they like to. One time they got on my leg and they bit me a lot. It's not fun. It's like mosquito bites all over. At last they went to the final finishing room. Mr. Fred made certain that all the cats acted alike. Repeat after me, said Mr. Fred. He held up a gold watch on a long chain and he swung it back and forth. I am a good cat. I am a good cat. I am a good cat, Ralph mumbled to himself. I am a good cat. He's hypnotizing him. I am a good cat. 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 That afternoon, Sarah arrived for Ralph's graduation. He received his diploma for perfect feline behavior. I think I told you feline is another word for a cat, right? Oh, Ralph, sighed Sarah, I'm so proud of you that you have changed your rotten ways. He'll never be rotten again, said Mr. Fred. I'm wondering, do you guys believe that's true? Just wondering. I am a good cat. I am. When they got home, Sarah awarded Ralph with a celebration. All of Ralph's friends had a great time, but Ralph just slept. What's wrong, Ralph? You used to be the life of the party. I am a good cat. I am a good cat. After the guests left the party, Sarah made funny faces at Ralph. She played with his cat toys, but nothing made rotten Ralph. Nothing made Ralph feel rotten. He just purred like a good cat. Wake up! I want my old Ralph back. Uh-oh. Be careful what you wish for. She chased a mouse. She climbed the curtains. She even ate a goldfish. Oh boy. Oh boy. She opened his eyes. She stood him up. She threw a bucket of ice water on his face. She lifted him onto the chandelier and gave him a push. Ralph swung back and forth until he remembered how good it felt to be rotten. He stuck his tongue out at Sarah. He growled a rotten growl. Then he dropped down into Sarah's lap. I'm glad my rotten Ralph is back, sighed Sarah. She gave Ralph a big hug. Me too, thought Ralph, as he ripped up his diploma. He wanted to be rotten again. And I guess Sarah loved him for him being rotten. She wanted him to change, but she didn't really want him to change. She just loved Rotten Ralph the way he was. So there's a fun little story about Rotten Ralph, and there's a whole series. When we get back to school, if you guys want to read these stories, they're on a level J, what your reading level is, and you can take them and borrow them from the school when we get back in there. Rotten Ralphs, they're fun. Okay, till the next time. Bye, guys. See ya.